Hey, good afternoon. My name is Gavin Yule. I'm making this video today to spread awareness on Frank Ocean's character, his lyrical content, to give people a more clarified insight into his lyrical content, his subject matter, and his intention. So I made a document 5 times Frank Ocean's lyrics embodied Satan. As we know, art, can be abstract. It also can be literal, as it pertains to real life. So 5 times Frank Ocean's lyrics embodied Satan, and I'm praying for people who support Frank Ocean understand what they're supporting when they support him. His album Blonde, in which the cover art clearly imitated or replicated a pose that I did with photographer Micaiah Carter on a Parsons campus. It really goes to show how much emphasis and attention he placed on my life as well as my family. So we're gonna start with Nikes. In the song Nikes, one of the lyrics was "Punk Madre, Punk Papa. He don't care for me, but he cares for me, and that's good enough. We don't talk much or nothing, but when we talk about something, we have a good discussion." Sorry, my phone dropped. So, with that being said, the meaning for Punk Madre is referring to me, Gavin. It's referring to my mother. I have a tattoo Madre on my left shoulder, along with Saint. So he's attacking my mother. The lyrics are spoken, from my parents' perspective. It could also be considered from my perspective. So a good discussion means awkward, uninvitedly perverted, or sexual in nature. The method for creating an awkward environment is found in the use of electronic weapons on the genitals of me and my parents. So if I'm calling my mom, for example, he electrocutes her vagina and he electrocutes my penis as a means to make it awkward or sexual, or to create fear, or to instill fear within my family in order to destroy it. So that's what you're supporting, in that. Another line on Nikes, what I want people to pay attention to is, she said she need a ring like Carmelo, must be on that white like Othello. A lot of Frank's lyrics have a double meaning. Carmelo Anthony, obviously a basketball player, but Carmelo Quinones was my best friend in high school, as well as my roommate, and his dad's name was also Carmelo. So, on that white, white is a double reference to the use and association with cocaine on behalf of Carmelo Quinones Sr. So the takeaways from these two lyrics is electronic weapons were clearly used on me and my family members. Frank Ocean's clearly guilty of molestation, emotional torture, and attempted murder using electronic weapons, which I'll extend on later. The takeaway from the other line is Frank Ocean clearly attacked members of my family with electronic weapons. Then you have Little Demon. So he has a song called Little Demon. And within that song, he said cocaine took several father figures out of mind. After Carmelo Quinones Sr. died from a car accident, he made the song and he referenced cocaine took several father figures out of mind, which is a clear reference to the passing of Carmelo Quinones Sr. It can also be a reference to Kyle Hagler, who also battled cocaine addiction. So a takeaway from that is that Frank Ocean used electronic weapons on Carmelo Quinones Sr., which is highly intuitive to suggest, considering the bona fide fact that he used electronic weapons on my mother. Another a lyric from the song is attempted murder charges still attempted. I'm trying to kill my guy. Obviously on Chanel, I'm the my guy reference. Saying attempted murder charges are still attempted. You're trying to kill my guy. You're really extending or on the intention that you're trying to murder me. Whether it be electronic weapons or another method. So a takeaway is that Frank Ocean's a murderer. He's an attempted murderer by way of electronic weapons and other methods. So people need to know Frank Ocean more before they, commit suicide by, wholeheartedly supporting, the Antichrist. As far as Dear April, which is another song, he said in the song, if you could take two strangers leaning left and right at a certain place in time, like you took these strangers in our two strange lives and made us new and took us through. Frank Ocean and his team made fake Grindr profiles and fake identification cards in order to manipulate me into having sexual relations with the stranger. So a takeaway is that Frank Ocean is a bona fide child sex trafficker, guilty of coercion, guilty of child pornography. Lastly, we have Chanel. And Chanel, he said, my guy. Obviously, my guy. He's referring to me. I had visual references to double down on that on